How's everybody doing this morning? This bright, beautiful day. I got to admit, it's already been a long week. It was a long day yesterday, and I had about 20 minutes to prepare there this morning. But you know what? Needless to say, this will be a show of all shows. And my guest today on the Dentologist Live, me, Ian Cordle, being the dentologist and inviting this gentleman onto my show, David Haxton. You know, in my 30 years of doing paintless dent repair, of having, my business involved with, removing dents from cars and just trying to build my own, my own knowledge base, my own, what am I trying to say here? I guess for my 30 years of doing this, I've never seen anything gain ground like ARC. ARC is an accreditation, and it is a judging of your mastery of paintless dent repair, your understanding and knowledge of it, and it's judged by your peers. I mean, what better way to have a accreditation that is your peers actually judging you and saying, yes, this person can do dents. You can trust this person to help with your vehicle to the average customer. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So with that said, I'd like to introduce David Haxton and give him a big round of applause. Let me go ahead and bring him on here. David, how are you?
Hi, Ian. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know what? I am having a little bit of, and this happens to the Dentologist Live show here. Sometimes we can hear people, sometimes we can't. I want to make sure I've got my microphone turned up here. Can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So let's go ahead and try a couple things here. Let's go. Bam. And so I wanted to start off here, make sure that I've got everybody on here and that I'm doing everything correctly, because you know what? I have been known to pull a forgetfulness, not do the right thing. Let's see. Well, it looks like I've got everything on right. And Dave, you said you can hear me? Okay. Well, I can't hear you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log you out again. Let's see if we can bring you back in. We're going to try this one more time. We're going to get David on this show here today because this is all about him. Remove. And I'm not seeing any of, let's see here. Not seeing any of my loyal people here. So we're going to figure out, we got 13 likes. So I know that there's people on. Why don't you guys make some comments? Let's see some questions for David, because I've got quite a few myself. There's many times that I'll be sitting around a table, whether it's at MTE or getting a phone call late at night, and the discussion comes up about ARC and about, what it stands for, especially throughout this last 2 years, watching it grow and the more people and technicians that have come on board with this. Robert Castillo, there's all kinds of changes going on right now. I know Randy Hobson is a big part of it, but David is the creator of this. He's the one that had this, he had this whole thought process. He's the one that upfronted the money, that got these certificates and plaques, got the group of guys together to vet these technicians' pictures and videos, saying that they can do what they do. So let me go ahead and make sure that I've got everything on here right. I don't see anybody making comments, so there must be something going on. There we go. We got one person saying something. I wanted to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Oh, man. So everyone, I wanted to make sure too, please download this link on Be Live, which is, make sure that you're able to be seen. Make sure that when you make a comment, I can see you. Because this show definitely has a lot to do with the audience involvement and the people that are coming on board saying something. So Good morning. We got people that are finally coming on board. Everybody's waking up. Now we just have to get the man of the hour back on here. I know he's going to be coming on, so we will wait for him. How you guys doing today? Hello. I have all these people that are saying hello and good morning. Good morning, everyone. Again, we've got that that deal that you need to download here that allows Be Live to sync with Facebook and show your beautiful picture. I mean, I should just leave this up here the rest of the time here, but you know what? You guys can watch me talk and watch me interview David Haxton. So I want to see your face on your comments. I want to know who we're talking to here as we go on. So yeah, you got to love technology, huh? Everything goes great until the point of the show. We got Zan Vidic out here. And look at this. Zan, man, it almost reminds me of, of a high-class men's underwear commercial. I mean, no offense, but that is a picture right there. That is a Facebook picture of all pictures to represent yourself when you make a comment. Now, don't let him be the only one that's still on the show. We got Bruce Halverson out here, and Bruce is a ARC certified master technician. Oh, come on now, Bruce. Of course we do. You know, Bruce has a good grill, man. He has a good looking face. But I want to touch on a couple things here while David is coming back on board. And that is, who would have thought to bring this many technicians together, whether they're new, old, just starting out in the business, or have been here for a Calvin Klein model. We got to show you this. Or have been in the business for a long time. But who would have thought to bring all these people together like he has and have as much transparency as he's showing and has shown the whole time to come together to vet one another and hold each other accountable. I mean, this is, I wish I would have thought about it. But I think the amount of hours and the time that he's taken and all the work he's put into this, it really is something else. I mean, I know that David is still having an issue coming on board. So I'm just going to talk. I'm going to do what I do best, and that's talk. So let's see here. We've got, I'm here in spirit. Well, I wish I knew who here was. If that's Dave Haxton, you better get your butt on the show here, because I want to show some things and talk about ARC and hear him speak. So, ARC in general, I was asked to be one of the judges, and I was more than happy to do so. And every once in a while, I would get a call, or I would start receiving some pictures like we did, being on the panel, to vet some of these jobs. And I have to tell you, talk about wanting to make sure that you're up on your game. I can't tell you enough. Some of these pictures and videos and things that these guys would send me was like, yeah, he's a master technician. But then I find out that they're 5 or 10 years, into the business. And it would just blow my mind that these guys can do what they do as minimal years that they put into this. And that just goes to show where this technology, where this industry is going. And with that said, guess what? We've got the man of the hour ready to come on board. David Haxton is ready to come on, and we're going to show him in just a couple of seconds. Everybody welcome David Haxton. Good morning. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Doing well, Ian. Thank you for having me this morning.
So I'm having an issue. I want to make sure you guys can hear him. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little pirating here. I'm going to make sure I can hear you by turning on this right here. So let's.
Doing well, Ian. Thank you.
I want to make sure you all guys right. Can hear him. Now I can hear David.
Hi, Ian.
So I'm going to adjust one thing here on my screen, and then we are. Things to say to David. So David, ARC, A-R-C. You're going to watch this video later on, and you're going to see the video that I put together, the intro video that I put together for you. And, I have to say, in my 30 years, I always say that, 30 years, I'm proud of 30 years in the PDR business. I'm also proud to be involved with people in the industry that, don't just push dents. They don't consider other people's livelihoods like you do with Dent Smart and the amount of technicians that you bring on board. But you think beyond that square or that huddle. And you have thought industry-wide when you created ARC, in my mind and in so many people's minds, and I know they will say the same thing, and that is to bring everyone together to accreditate, and to make sure that everyone knows who these people are, that they are a vetted technician, that they have been judged by their peers. I mean, personally, I look at this and I'm so proud to have been involved with this from the beginning. And I just wanted to say, with that said, I'm going to let you speak, man, but I have to say I'm honored to have you on my show here today and be talking and kind of answering some questions for me and stuff. So with that said, man, I mean, as you can tell, I'm really excited to have you on board, man. What do you have to say for yourself, man? You've created a monster.
Well, I wouldn't call it a monster. We needed help. And if you're coming out of the closet, Ian, today, you've been with us for 2 years now as a volunteer. And so I'm honored to be here on your show. And I want to say thank you for that. You've been very, very classy about this whole thing, Ian. Not only have you been really, really effective on our panel, you never asked to promote your product. You never asked to promote the mobile tech shade. And you, sir, are a class act.
Cool. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. And, I think, David, just the brainstorming on this, there's no doubt in my mind, you've spent out of your own pocket time, invested money, but, with a basic overview of, a bigger picture. And I see this, I see this bigger picture. It's not for self gratification, but for industry gratification. And that's why it made me, I was so excited since day one to come on board and be a part of it. Is, there's always been a school, there's always been some kind of certification or something to say, yes, I'm certified with this. I won't name any names. But it's never been like this, where it's actually the people across the world that do paintless dent repair, some of them considered to be, the gurus of PDR, that are saying that, yes, I can do paintless dent repair. I am a quality-minded technician, and to hold us accountable. So, that to me was why I wanted to be a part of it. It was kind of a no-brainer.
And thank you for the kind words about it. But you described it as a monster earlier, and yeah, it's a lot of work. We're getting the help that we need. I'm going to give real quick props to Robert Castillo. He's the heart of us, and Robert has put way more time in this than I probably told him he would. And he's been a trooper the whole time. So he's been a huge help. You've been a huge help. Our panel has been a huge help. And our panel is full of PDR studs like you, Mr. Cordle. So, if you pass our panel review, you're doing pretty good. You're doing well.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored to be a part of it, man. And I have to say, I think this is worth its weight in gold right here. But I've got David Haxton's signature on my certification. I'm proud to say that. I've got one of the first series, let's just say, of certifications, and my wife was cracking up. She's like, what are you doing now? What do you got now? And it's like, no, this is this is the one, this is the certification where other people now know, not just me in my own mind. I've always been the superhero in my own mind, but actually other technicians can say, wow, this is what's going on. And in turn, I'm able to say to my customers and show them this accreditation. I mean, that really to me was huge. I know Bryce Kelly is the same way. He is a big time. You look on his LinkedIn account and things like that, and he pushes the ARC certification. So many people do. So it's like having that badge or that title belt, that you've put in time and you've done the work, and here you are. But I wanted to ask you a few questions now that we've kind of told the audience who you are, what you've created, and everybody knows me. So let's go ahead and show a couple of the questions and answers and so forth that I've got here. So I want to know who chose the first representatives. Now, I know that some of them haven't come out. Some of them don't want to know or don't want people to know that they were on the judge panel, and that's perfectly fine. I'm proud of that. And it's not about them not being proud of it. I understand that. It's about anonymity, but on the same fact, that had to have been quite a hard decision to who you're going to pick to be on that panel, right?
It was actually easy, Ian, because we went with one criteria. Where are you? We all need content nowadays, right? I mean, we have websites today, we have social media today, Twitter, smartphones today. So we all needed content, and so immediately we took the people that had the best content proven at that time. And so Mike Chitwood, yourself, and who was the other one that we've released so far? Oh, Jim Mitchell. Jim was an interesting person because he sent in really brutally honest videos. So we knew who we were choosing just by the content that they were bringing to us. That person could qualify for what we're trying to do. So Mike Chitwood was, you wait till you see some of these, and you now know. Let me ask you a question. Did you know who the panel members were prior to becoming on the advisory panel? Yeah. Did you know who they were?
Mike Chitwood, Jim Mitchell, and they're great guys. And I know Jim is super excited. I've seen some little tidbits. I haven't had a chance really to get online and look at social media here in the last few days. I've been very, very busy. I'm blessed, but I've seen these couple little tidbits. Jim is going to be an advocate. He is an advocate. He has been since he's been on, even though we didn't know that he was involved with it until it was said to be. But boy, you couldn't ask for it. And Robert Castillo, man, talk about putting fuel to the fire, having somebody that comes on board, dives both feet, both arms, his whole body in, and really, carries it to the next level. So, I always say, people have heard me say on my show several times, you are who you surround yourself with. And I am a true believer that. I teach it to my boys. I talk about it all the time. And kudos on that, man, because these guys are definitely the ones to involve on this. Now, the definition, I want to tell everybody, I want them to understand. I've made up a couple of different sayings for it, but the abbreviation for ARC, A-R-C. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we wanted to be accountable in the verification process. We wanted to, so accountability, reliability, credibility. Those were the three things that that's the three things that I look for if I'm going to work with someone. Those are the three things I'm going to deliver as my promise. So obviously credibility, we verify that, and we do that in a very reliable way. We do that in a very accountable way to one another. Right. No one gets in just because they paid. I'll give you a number, Ian. 6 out of 10 people don't even make it to panel review. They just don't have the content, or they glorify the camera angles, or they didn't take them in the proper, like, we can't get a read on it, right? So we're not giving up on them. They just need, we do this every day. So, capture better content, bring it to us so that we can read it. We're not saying no, we just can't read it.
That's the truth.
Give it right. We don't say, oh, you're bad, or do I think you went to the pay window? Yes, but I can't tell what this texture looks like. I can't tell how this repair came out. So you get a no read. And something else too, and as far as accountability in the equation, we make sure that everyone does multiple repairs. That way they can't fool us, right? You can't take a picture of a white Dodge fender and then move over to the next white Dodge at the dealership and take a picture of that and say, this is my before and after. Take a picture of a replaced door or a replaced hood. This is my before and after. If you're going to fool us, you're going to have to go through a whole lot of trouble. And so that's the accountability part of verifying people. And then I think reliability in the verification of people is making sure that people like you, people like Robert Castile, people like Jim Mitchell,
that's the truth,
Jeff Crumwitty, that for sure that there is valid
that's the truth.
People in the peer process, correct? Is this delayed?
Well, the whole accreditation, the reliability, the thought process that went into this, David, I just can't say enough about it, man. And one thing is, if you could tilt your camera just a hair, you look like Casper. There you go. You look like Casper the Friendly Ghost there. I was like, oh my gosh,
changing.
The light's shining. The light is shining. So I wanted to ask a couple more questions here, David. The future of ARC. I've been sitting at a table, and I'll admit, I've heard things, come up. People talk about, I'm wondering if, that has to do with, with his business, or he's trying to build up, the SEO for this, or, and for a long time, I know that you've been under the gun on several conversations, from other people in the industry and so forth. But me personally, it was kind of, be involved, put my effort into something, watching all these great technicians that have a lot of respect and accountability in the industry come on board and back it during this time. And then it was kind of like, now when everything is out in the open, as far as some of the people that were on the panels and who it was, it shows that, this has been from the get-go. Your transparency, like you posted how much money ARC has right now in PayPal. There's no better way to show people exactly what's going on than to be, completely transparent. So I guess the next question would be, what is the future of ARC, or do you see a master plan in the future? Is there a master plan, or is this just as it rolls forward and the people that are involved with it?
There is we talked about this with Jim Mitchell. There is a master plan and I showed you, the 6 little things I showed you. I sent a picture of the things that I think we need as an industry to self-sustain. So ARC is one small piece of a much bigger puzzle, but the master plan includes just giving someone the ability to declare, Vail. I love Vail, but they've checked out. So here we are in industry with no ability to have accreditation. So we're trying to revive that chance again, and that's where we're going. That's the only place we're going. That's where we're staying. I don't even know, as far as SEO and website, the fact that we give QR codes and URL codes for that customer to directly access a right? We don't need any website navigation. So we're not going after SEO. We're not, you saw the money, we're making maybe $3 to $6 per member lifetime.
Right.
And giving them a dedicated website. So as long as we break even, we should be able to sustain for a long time. So where are we going? I will say if we are serving our members, we're already there. That was what we wanted to do was to give people the chance to declare, give people the chance to separate from the general tech population, back up what you claim. It's not 2005 anymore. We have websites now. We have social media now. We have smartphones now. So we just wanted to back up what you claim yourself through a third party. And that's where we were going. That's where we're going. We're going nowhere else. Trust me. We're not sellable. We're not buyable.
Right.
We're not an entity that I don't even think I could give it away because of the work involved. No one would want that kind of work. Thank God we're getting help.
Got it.
Thank goodness we're getting help. But we kind of are exactly where we're going to be.
Wow, it couldn't be better said, man. And, it just couldn't be better said because having something that really has no agenda other than to serve the technicians and keep them moving forward. It's in a sense, it's like this. This is the way I see it. You've got this accreditation now, guys. Now the person goes on to the ARC website, make sure that you're an accredited, accountable technician. It's up to you to have the good content on your website. It's up to you to write stories and blogs of how you feel about certain subjects. It's up to you to hire someone, if not do it yourself, and keyword things and meta tag and do stuff. This is not ARC's job. What ARC's job is to put a bunch of people in a big bowl that know what the heck they're doing in this industry and keep it pushing forward. Am I right?
That's correct.
So, Hale, being a retail California technician like myself, I love it. I mean, I don't know if you can see it here. Let me try to move out of the way, but I've got it sitting right over there on the wall, right when people pull in, and that's the first thing they see is my ARC certification. So I guess, if I was saying anything to everybody, post that bad boy. Put it right up where people can see it. Let everybody know that you're certified, that you've got certified service, and that you've been paneled by judges that do the same thing as you around the world. So, Dave, is there any other key points that you would like to touch on here, man? I mean, I really appreciate you being on the show here today.
I think that we have goals. One of our goals, I'll give you two real quick. One, if you're coming to our industry with the word certification, you better come correct because we feel like that we have stomped any chance of someone having an agenda in certification on our end. We've just stomped it. There's just, if you're going to come and you want money or you want to promote a product or you want to do conformity type of certification,
right.
If it's about profit, I would say that this industry will shun you now. I think that that's one of our goals was to eliminate any BS, I guess, certification. Number two, we wanted to bring attention to our industry associations, and in particular our sanctioning body. Our sanctioning body is NAPDART. You know me, Ian. I'm a Hale guy. And I will go on record all day as saying that I'm a fighter of preferred vendor. Preferred vendor is defined by the matrix you don't want to write from, right? So I fight preferred vendor because it's a facade. It's just a facade to standardize our industry based on,
right.
one guy in an office somewhere in a state somewhere. I mean, Dent Smart, my company, we have more offices in more states than all the preferred vendors combined.
It's volatile doing it that way. Am I right? I mean, if you do the whole preferred thing, then, let's say down the road, they could be on a monetary basis to fill their pockets to have that preferred label. But ARC is different, where it's not the case.
That's correct. So, we want to draw attention to our sanctioning body, NAPDART. I've done my homework on NAPDART. I'll be honest, 15 years ago, I could care less about them. Didn't know anything about them. As I started to fight preferred vendor, I started to almost write my own version of NAPDART. And then I realized that it's already written, and it's not just written; it's actually perfectly written.
Right.
And I'm not an advocate or an ambassador for them. They're not paying me. They don't sponsor us. They don't sanction us. They don't endorse us. Okay. But doing my homework, and especially recently, you see the matrix that's coming out, that's on everyone's mind, and the deterioration of our pricing.
Okay.
So to me, I started to fight that, and I realized that we already have that written. It already exists. And so obviously I became a member of it, but I put my money where my mouth is. We're going to definitely bring attention to industry participation.
So basically, having these warriors like David Haxton, having these warriors like Paul Cordle, these guys that have come out and said enough is enough. I am going to I'm going to change the game. I'm going to change the script. And even though I remember when Paul Cordle first came out with, he's an MTE, and I was sitting down in the crowd and actually had, we'll just say I had my, competitor, sitting literally chairs from me, and we're both looking at and watching him and listening to him. When he came out with those prices, it was like, oh my God, there's no way. I mean, we'll lose all of our business. And I took a chance, and so did so many other people, to get paid what we're worth. We had been under the shadows for so long, and it's kind of the same thing with hail. Watching it go from 30 years ago, you literally walked in. If you could take a dent out without having to paint, you wrote your own check. You walked in and they were like, it's cheaper than body work, and you're doing it same day. Sure. $300 for something that big on one card, do it. Hail was a mind-blowing experience as well, many years back. Now, to let the insurance companies base the pricing on what we're to get paid for how many dents per panel, and it just keeps going down. We don't cover this, we don't cover this, no upcharges on this. It's not their deal to write. It's not their deal. They don't know the struggle we go through. So again, I appreciate having something like ARC to have these people that can all come together and say, no, I'm not going to do that. This is what we are. And, oh, by the way, we're ARC certified. That's pretty big.
I'll say this, Ian, the preferred vendor operates on a what I call a 1,000 tech facade. They all say they have 1,000 technicians, right? We know they're borrowing from the same pool of technicians. We know that. So no one has 1,000 technicians. Outright lie, just a facade. And so, you know what, though? We're about to find out what 1,000 technicians looks like. That we're close to that number. We're a year away from that number. And that's if we currently go at the pace that we're at, we're about a year away. And so I'd like to see what 1,000 technicians really looks like, from an advice standpoint and a pricing standpoint and a logistics standpoint. We're about to find out, and we're going to put that out there. Where's your 1,000 techs? Here's ours.
You know what? I want to see that too. So anybody that watches this show in the future, anybody that's here watching it now that's already ARC certified, or not, the people that are, let these other guys know, hey, you want to be with the big dogs, you want to have that certification, and be classified in the same realm with some of the people that, they've come to know, and that's part of the reason, or who they watch, or who they go and watch videos on and learn from, and so forth, that are ARC certified. Become ARC certified. Turn in your photos. Make your make your your whole list on the ARC website, and be a preferred vendor. Be be transparent. Have your peers look at your work. But here's one thing: I gotta end this video with this, man. I gotta end this talk with this. I've been sent so many pictures from around the world, and so many incredible technicians, guys that are 4 or 5 years in, and it's like blowing my mind that they can do what they do. But here's the biggest thing. Then they go to show a photo, and they can do work. They can do this work. And then they show a photo, and they don't show the same thing in the finish, or they, just like you said, they hide something in the finish, or they, do. I know that looks perfect. But it's almost like you got to be a semi-professional photographer, or at least understand that, hey, this is something to learn, to actually show and vet your work to your customers, much less your peers to go and get certified. So please practice the fact that when you go and you're showing every detail of the inside of that crease or whatever on the beginning photo with the lights and everything else, show the exact same way, or even go even more in depth to show the grain of the orange peel and stuff when you show the finished one. Because if you can do that on ARC, man, do every single one like that when you get vetted on your website to your customers and everything else, because that you're doing it right.
That's a really good point, Ian. Good, absolutely good point. If you're going to glorify the camera angle, and we and you and I, we've been doing this 2 years together now. We know people don't take their before and afters for Dent guys to judge, right? We know that. So we set our filter for that. But what we found is people take the before with, oh my gosh, look how bad this is, and then put it under a tree and go, oh my gosh, look how good this is. But
right,
it's hard to read. And so if you can at least give us the chance, no glorified camera angles, no glorified lighting, give us the chance to read it. Give your customers the chance to see that you've been verified by experts in your field, right? It's a Google, Amazon world. People don't want to know what you say about yourself. They want to know what others say about you. Right. So that's part of our mission, is to make sure that we're a third party, unbiased, irrespective of brand, not for profit. Just want to be a peer break even, right? You saw the financials, right? We're breaking even at best. And so just to make sure that people have the chance to be accredited third party, it's big in today's world. Thanks for bringing that point up.
So everyone, David Haxton, everybody, and thank you for everything that you've brought here to the industry with ARC, and the continued support. Thank you to all the people that are involved with ARC, of continuing to let this thing roll. And, thank you for the opportunity to be on the panel for 2 years, and, just, kind of put my 2 cents in. It really lets me know that, just that you even asked me, man, I was honored to do it, and honored that I've been a part of it, and it keeps growing like it is. So, kudos, man. And thank you so much for being on my show.
Well, thank you, Ian. Thanks for the kind words. And, you're not really supposed to come out of the closet today. It was actually scheduled for tomorrow, but that's okay. You can come out it's your show. You can come out if you want. But thank you. Thank you, Ian, for your time. Thank you for you being a volunteer, for you being a pro, and not trying to do any other agenda. Man, kudos to you, buddy.
I apologize. I didn't know that I didn't know that it hadn't come out. I was thinking that it had already been done, man. I let the cat out of the bag, huh?
You did. You let the cat out of the bag. That's okay. We're real proud of you. So.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Everyone, David Haxton, ARC, and get certified. Dave, thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks for the kind words. Right. Enjoy your day, brother.
Bye. So everybody, there you have it. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be credible, be accountable, and with something like this, having a licensing or an accreditation that you're actually able to be judged by your peers. I just keep saying it. It doesn't get better than that. It's such a mind child that has grown and blossomed into something that I am proud to say I